Hey, so thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm really excited to start a new venture with a podcast called Beyond the Key. I kind of want to just preface what that means. So first off, my name is Rick Brown. I'm going to be the host of the show, and I'm excited. Each episode, we're going to invite and unlock opportunities for what's out in the Orlando market. Take it a step further. First, I want to invite our partners. These are our people that we really trust and know when it comes to the real estate world. And for moving forward into this, we want to also invite the community. If you're a small business, an entrepreneurship, love to have you on the show to help build your brand, to help grow your brand. Just a little bit about me. Been in the real estate market for 10 years. Have a team of an incredible bunch of agents. And throughout the time we do these episodes, I'm going to invite some of them to sit in this seat and co-host as well some of their different businesses that they work with. But I couldn't not continue this without saying happy anniversary to my wife of 8 years, 13 together. She told me that last night. I almost forgot. So, Jeannie, I love you. Happy anniversary. This is our inauguration of the podcast, and I won't forget the date. So, however, my plan is to make this a show that people will tune in and educational, informative, and fun. I want to go ahead and invite my first guest, somebody who I truly am thrilled to have as my first guest of Beyond the Key. And so Nick, thanks for joining me. I know that we've known each other for going on 10 years. It's been a while. Can we just start with who's Nick Vargas?
Yeah, sure thing. So excited to be here, Ray. Thanks for having me on. So, wow, 10 years. I think me and Jeannie have a little competition going on here as far as time together. I don't know. we'll have to see who your favorite is, you know? So, anyhow, happy anniversary, Jeannie. Super excited for you guys. Name is Nick Vargas. I grew up here in Orlando. Pretty much, I consider myself a Floridian, even though I came from New York at a very young age. I, believe it or not, started off, and we'll probably dive into this a little later, but I've been in mortgage and banking like my entire life, pretty much. I think I've worked one other job outside of that. And that's kind of everything I know. And married to a beautiful wife, Maritza, and two small kids. And I
have to say, your kids, I mean, they could be models themselves. You have a beautiful family. I do want to preface that you are from Orlando and you are a Timber Creek Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Go Wolves.
Yeah.
TCHS.
So it definitely is something that, people out there want to know. Now, just tell me how it all started for Nick. Obviously, you've been in Orlando how long?
So I've been in Orlando since 1997.
Okay. And where did you originally?
So originally from Queens, New York.
Okay. See, that's something I didn't even know.
Yep.
And what moved you to Orlando?
Well, the fact that the fact that I was in kindergarten at the time, I didn't really have much of a choice, And I think we had a lot of family moving here,
right?
And my parents really wanted a better life, education, live in a real family friendly neighborhood, things like that. So we all kind of like slowly followed family down here, and that's it. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm staying right here.
So what was your first job in high school, maybe, or after high school? What did you do? Because obviously you didn't do mortgages to begin.
Yeah, so at 13, I was writing loan. No, so I was lending money to all the kids for lunch in elementary. So I always had the type of personality where I always wanted to work. So I couldn't wait to get started. At the age of 15, I was already like, okay, who will hire me? Who will hire 15-year-olds? I want to get a job ASAP. And so that was really, I started looking immediately. I was applying at McDonald's. I was applying at Publix. I was anywhere I could start working. I just wanted to earn money. And after applying with some of those places, none of them would hire me. So a friend of mine got me a job actually over at Chuck E. Cheese. That was my first job. Yeah, I see you laughing over there.
I'm trying not to because it keeps switching over. But what we'll have to ask? You weren't Chucky, were you?
All right. Spoiler alert. Everybody that works there pretty much takes turns as Chucky. So, I'd go in there, you got a 5. Is it? Okay. I didn't know if it was Rick breathing over there.
No, it's you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say anything, and
Yeah.
I want to comment,
It keeps going. Yeah. All right, so I'll talk lower. All right, I'll rewind. So yeah, my first job. My first job was actually Chuck E. Cheese. Believe it or not, a friend had got me the job there, and yes, I'm sure you're thinking, was I Chucky? Yes, I was Chucky. So everybody who works there actually took turns as being Chucky. So a little quiz for you. Do you know what Chuck E. Cheese stands for, or CEC is initials? What his real name is?
No.
Charles Entertainment Cheese. Just for all the watchers out there.
There'll be a test at the end of this.
We'll throw a quiz out.
Right.
So yeah, that was my first job. Friend got me the job there, and I was a party host. Was my main,
And you could work at 15.
No, they hired me at 16. I had to wait, unfortunately. Nobody would get me in at 15. So at 16, they hired me on. And it was right there in Waterford Lakes, actually. They're right in that 32828 area. And I was there throughout high school, really. Once high school finished is when I got into the banking from there on.
Okay, so then take us through. So you started in Chuck E. Cheese,
Mm-hmm.
and then you decided it was time to get into banking, which is kind of springboarding into mortgages, but you're not there yet.
Yeah, so kind of funny how that happened. I had an awesome teacher in high school who it was an elective class we had that was kind of like for, career focus about where you're heading in the future, what you want to do. I can't remember the name of the class. And anyhow, she approached me one day and goes, "Hey, you mentioned you wanted to do finance when you get older." And I was like, "Yeah, I think that's the route I want to take." And she said, "Well, I got some news for you. We're going to be opening a bank inside of our high school. And I think you should volunteer. I think it'd be a great way for you to at least learn some of the back end stuff and just get your feet wet in banking." And so she asked me to volunteer. And my first question was, "Well, what time is it?" And she goes, "Oh, you have to be here before school starts." And I was like, "Do I leave school early?" And she was like, "Absolutely." I'm like, "Great, sign me up," because I just want to get home already, So I was never a school person. So it wasn't for me. So volunteered there. Long story short, after high school, I applied there, and they ended up hiring me on, and I ended up working with them for like, I want to say 3 or 4 years, as a teller, part-time teller, full-time teller. Became a banker, became a like a bit of they call it a floater banker or MSR or whatnot, but like basically travel from branch to branch and provide coverage where it was needed. And that's where I actually got my license, or my not license, but NMLS ID assigned to me. So if somebody looks up my mortgage ID, my NMLS ID number, you'll see it was actually assigned to me when I was at the bank. So I've had it for quite some time. And then it's funny, I always share this experience in, a lot of times in our industry, you can get a quote online from a lender. You can get a quote, any app you log into these days, or like they're soliciting you with like, oh, borrow money here and use this and we have the best rates and et cetera. And, oftentimes we look at, service that's provided, right? Because you'll experience different service levels, as I'm sure you'd agree with, from this realtor to that realtor, your experience can be completely different, right? Same in lending. There's lots of steps and parts of the process. And so when I went through training at the big bank, it was, they're like, all right, you're going to get your mortgage ID assigned to you today. We're going to send you to training in corporate. And after 2 hours of being there, they're like, all right, here's your ID. You're all set. Go start selling loans. And I was like, I don't even know what FHA is or difference between that and conventional. I didn't know anything. They basically just went over a couple things of how to access their system. And there's like, here's your ID, get going. So that's where my ID got assigned to me and I got started. But that's kind of how I got roped into that lending world, I'll say.
So based on that, it gave you the taste of banking / mortgages, and then you potentially got your license, you got a loan, and those aren't hard. They're not easy to get, right? They're pretty difficult. One of the most difficult. I know they say the real estate license is hard, but you would probably disagree and say that mortgages licenses are harder.
I haven't taken the real estate once. I couldn't tell you, but
I will tell you that it is not easy, and I'm telling this today, but I did not pass it on the first time. So,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. But it does not define you as a real estate agent, just like it probably doesn't define you as a mortgage loan officer.
Yeah, 100%. I spoiler alert. I failed my test the first time as well.
There you go. So we have something else in common. So you kind of talked about how you got into the mortgage business. So you've been with another company, and let's go ahead and springboard into Appli. I got to know, how'd you come up with a name?
Sure thing. This is always a fun story. So honestly,
remember, this is a short show.
we'll keep it short. So
I think it's great. Honestly, and not to take your limelight away, but the way Appli was born, I feel like has been evolving, right? But the whole thing that I don't know, it just makes you stand above the rest. And I think that when we put our clients in front of you, that's the first question we always get. Well, what is Appli? And I always say, tell me if I'm wrong, apply, right? So
you're correct. It's a play on the word apply.
Right. So go ahead and tell us how you came up with it.
So when we were looking to get started, so I have a business partner, Joe. We both decided, hey, it's time to do our own thing and open up our own company. And, we both had experience at this point, 10 plus years in mortgage, just strictly mortgages. And we've both worked every single aspect of the industry, from disclosures to closing to processing to being an assistant to being a loan originator. We did everything. So we had a great understanding of each step of the process. And
which, if I could, that to me is huge, right? Because you know every step of the process, you understand it, and being an owner like myself, it's sort of like a football team, right? You're just not a coach. You were a quarterback. You played the game, right? You caught the ball. Good analogy, maybe. I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right.
But now you have got team members that you now can take and instill them in the. Again, I know you're a guest on the show, and you're also a good friend, somebody I consider family, but you're a hell of a loan officer.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And it just shows with our clients, right? When we have conversations at the end of the process, and I know I've kind of jumped down to the questions, but bottom line is I feel like you definitely stand above the mortgage business and the process to get our clients to the closing table.
No, I appreciate it.
And you saved our ass quite a bit. So, truthfully, I've had to deal with other lenders, and you've come in and saved the day, in the 11th hour. And it's amazing how you've been able to pull a rabbit out of your ass.
It's that's a trick. Took me a little bit of practice to figure
Probably hurt too.
It hurts a little bit.
So moving along. So you've been in the mortgage business how long? 10 years?
Slightly over 10 years. Going on about 13 years now.
Wow. Okay, so you started when like you were 20.
Yeah, 21.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So what's exciting about the mortgage business? Like what are you excited about? What's passionate for you?
For me, honestly, is what you just mentioned.
Hmm.
My favorite thing to do is to take a file that's falling apart or somebody that's losing hope of getting their loan and saving the day. We have an ongoing joke in the office. My nickname is Captain Save a Loan. So it says
Captain Save a Loan.
Captain Save a Loan. So even got a little hat.
We might have to brand that.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm probably going to trademark it.
You should.
And so that's honestly my favorite thing is I love the problem solving aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's something that just comes with years of practice. It's hard to teach somebody that. You have to learn through trial and error. So unfortunately, like everybody, it's like anything. Like you got to fail numerous times just to realize, okay, next time I got to do it differently. So for me, that's my favorite thing about it. And then I just love building. Like I love marketing, branding, and stuff like that. You know, our marketing guy Jason, who's behind the camera right now, you know, he knows that's a passion of mine. So we collaborate on a daily basis of just, you know, building the business and coming up with branding and things like that. And to circle back quick while we're on that topic, Appli was just a play on the word apply. I think I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
We were thinking of different names, and so many names were already taken, and it was just kind of like hey, how about the word apply? And I was speaking to some friends about it, and they were like, why don't you just change the letter Y with an I, and it'd be Appli? And I was like, it's different. Nobody has it. And then, you know, we came up with a space theme, and now we're all space theme. And we have a mascot, which is the Appli knot, and that's our astronaut. And it's just different. We just wanted to be different from your typical old school banker.
So you go out of this world to take care of your client.
Oh yeah, we help them secure their space.
You can use that trademark.
Oh, we have so many jokes. It goes on.
So what gets Nick up in the morning? Besides.
Probably my wife hitting me from snoring all night.
Your kids.
The kids. I mean, I'm actually, I don't like to sleep. I'm usually up before them. So I'll go to bed after and wake up before. Honestly, what drives me is, you know, obviously I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to build something that I can look back and my kids are proud, my wife's proud, and just them to know that Dad did whatever he could to make sure they can have anything they want in this world. And for me, that's what drives me. And I just love the feeling of building something that is bigger than me, right? I'm a pretty big boy, but you know what I mean? I like to build something that's bigger than me, and I want to build something that'll last and people will remember. You know, it's funny because, you know, even now it's like on a smaller scale, but we have people that'll send us pictures of like, I saw this astronaut at this restaurant on a statue and I thought of you, you know? So it's like, I want to build something that people just remember. And that's what drives me.
That's awesome.
Keeps me going.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously let's dive into the market. I think that's what people want to know right now. And based on, we talked about yesterday when you joined us on our team huddle. And one of the things that really was interesting to me is where you think the market is going. Obviously, where the market's going, but what does that look like right now? So far as FHA, you do the normal loans, right? So why don't you talk a little bit about what type of loans you do, and then let's talk about like non-conform type loans that you do. That what stands Appli above the rest?
Yeah, sure thing. So, as you mentioned, so brief overview. We do all your standard stuff: FHA, VA, USDA, conventional. And then you have your non-QM stuff, which is going to be your bank statement loans, DSCRs, 1099 loans, no income loans, you know, things like that. And I'll kind of jump into that, fix and flip loans, all kinds of things. So I'll jump into that after. So we'll take a step back quick. Market, you asked. So honestly, in my opinion, you know, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm no economist or anything, but I will say The market right now is definitely, I've noticed a massive uptick in applications and people purchasing. I mean, things are starting to really get busy, and it's a great sign. And rates are starting to slowly come down, which I think is great. If I know everybody's hoping that they just tank and go to 3%, and that's not going to happen. But quite honestly, that would cause absolute chaos and probably not be a good thing. Um, a slow decline in rates is a great thing, and we're already starting to see that. We're already seeing improvements. Rates are finally um, starting to dip into low six territory for a government loan, sometimes high fives, depending. Every scenario is different. Conventional, same thing, looking at high sixes, mid sixes, again, depending on the scenario, credit score, all that, down payment, all that stuff, price point, all that. But they're starting to look a lot better than what they were last year.
Yeah, for me, we look at buyer pool and the inventory, and we're seeing an uptick on the inventory. But, buyers are out right now. They've been holding off. They've been waiting. And we've been saying that, if you wait, then you're just going to be in multiple offer situations. And now's the time, if you're looking to buy, that you definitely should jump on it. Right now, it sounds like even a better time is what you're stating, is the interest rates have already started, so they're ahead of the game. And I know for the buyers that I'm working with right now, that's exciting.
Yeah, because I'm in full agreement with you on that. I think now is it. The buyers have more. I don't know if control is the right word, but they have more negotiating power now than they will when rates come down. It's just like we've seen the last couple of years. When COVID occurred and that was all going on, it was madness, right? Nobody knew what to expect. Rates were so low. Everybody wanted to buy a home, and then there was 10 offers on a property within hours of the home going live. So, that was tough for buyers because people were putting in offers on 10 homes before, getting one accepted. And that's tough, especially when you fall in love with the house and your family's there and you're like, we can see us living here. Then it's like, well, there's 9 other offers, so you can overpay by $30K if you want it. And yeah, you got a low rate, but you were paying over asking. And now, for me, now's a great time. Come summer, it's gonna be wild. It very well could flip to a seller's market come summer because there'll be so many buyers looking to move before school starts that you'll have less negotiating power and more competition. So if I was buying, I'd get out there right now and find something. You'll have a better shot at getting a seller credit. You'll have a better shot at getting a better deal on the home and getting in, with less or without any competition.
Yeah. And right now, for you out there that are looking to buy, median market price in Orlando is about $397,000. So if you're looking between that 350 to 450 range, you're going to be looking with a lot of other buyers. Young people today, the rent is going up, and so buying is definitely a better option. And so obviously at Brown Home Group, we'd love to help you, and we will hook you up with Nick at Appli. Question, Nick, what's one mistake that a borrower makes when looking to get a loan and purchase a home?
Easy.
Go ahead.
They didn't call me. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. Wait, that wasn't in my notes.
Cliche.
Wait. Okay. Sorry. Must call Nick.
Well, yeah, that's the first mistake they made. No, in all seriousness.
Well, what should they avoid? Because we know that there are a lot of mistakes. We got a lot of young people out there buying their first home, excited, nervous, and I know that we always say at Brown Home Group that we go above and beyond the sale and ultimately hold your hand through the process. And I know that having a good partner like Appli, plug, this is something that you need both of. You need a strong realtor and a strong lender because we start the process, you end the process. Would you not agree?
No, 100%. It's definitely a team effort. They need to. So, you asked them what's the number one mistake I see. The number one mistake I probably see is that they waited too long to start the process.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought you were going to say like they buy a car while they're going through the process.
That's very
which-
cliche, right? Everybody probably thought that was the answer, but honestly, we don't even see that too often. Believe it or not, I think people these days, social media shares enough information that I think people know some of those very common do's and don'ts. The most important thing is that they waited too long, and what I mean by that is, they went out with a realtor, they found a home they like, and then they're already like, I got to get qualified, and then everything's in urgency, and then we look at their credit, and it's like, well, you got to fix this and pay this off, and now they might miss out on the opportunity of buying that house.
So let's talk about credit report. Credit itself. Right now, medium credit score needed to purchase a first-time home buyer.
So the sweet spot is always 640 to start. And I say sweet spot, you can get competitive rates. You can get, an FHA loan, a VA loan if you're a veteran, things like that. Conventional is more picky. You want to be above 680 ideally to get, a decent rate and things like that. However, we go down to 500 on credit score. So I actually have 2 contracts right now. One's like 550, one's at a 507, which will be a record. That'd be my lowest score at closed when that one's done. But those, if your score is that low to qualify for something, everything's measured in risk factors. So you got to have what's called compensating factors. So what are you doing that lowers the risk? So that this person's, selling a house, so they're putting down, 60%. System gave us an approval because they have so much skin in the game. It's very low risk. If they're trying to scrape by their savings and get the minimum down payment in, and they have a low credit score, probably not going to work. But over 600, you have a good shot of getting something.
I know there's a understanding that a lot of people, when they're trying to fix their credit score, they tend to want to pay off a credit card or they want to pay off a loan. What would you tell a buyer that's out there that's a little concerned about, okay, maybe I'm at a 560, 570, and you just said that 640 is the minimum. What would you offer as a suggestion when it comes? Well, obviously, hire you, because I do know that you will walk them through the process. You'll do, a soft pull to help them. And unfortunately, sometimes the information is not what we want, but we can at least plan. So what would be something to help improve credit?
Yeah. So if you want to get your score up, the obvious one would be pay your credit cards down. Those have a massive effect.
But not pay them off.
Sometimes it depends. So it's funny how that works. When we run credit and analyze it, we have an analyzer, which is like a what if simulator. And the cool thing about it is there's some free what if simulators out there that you can see on like credit monitoring tools. And it's going to give you an idea of what your score would be if you did those things. However, it's not always 100% accurate to what we see, right? Those tools don't cost you anything. They don't affect your score to look at it. It's just assuming what it's going to be. Ours is on real-time data. So ours are on an actual report, what it is. So paying down credit cards is great. Paying them off could also be great. There's some instances where the analyzer says, hey, don't pay it off. Keep a balance of $10. I noticed $10 a lot seems to be the sweet spot on most of these analyzers. And so because a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll just use my card and pay it off every month. Well, if you use it and pay it off, and every time it reports it's zero, they don't know you use the card. It's always zero. So you're not really building history. And so you want to report a balance, but report a small balance. Keep it very low. They always say, under 30% utilization of your credit cards is a great place to be. If you pay off a credit card, don't close it. That's the number one thing. Like, do not close it. Closing cards does not help. Paying off loans, people oftentimes think, oh, I paid off my car. That should boost my credit. Not necessarily. Installment debt doesn't really have that large of an effect on your score. And when you're paying off a loan, you're closing an account. And closing an account usually negatively impacts your score in the immediate. Down the line, could it help your score? Sure, you have less debt. It probably would help, but oftentimes doing stuff like that doesn't help. So, I prefer they connect with someone like myself or another experienced loan officer to go over these things first, because if you take all your savings and you pay off your car, that may not get you where you need to be. And now you spend all your money ahead of time and there's nothing else to use to fix your credit. So yeah, that'd be my suggestion.
So I know we just tapped into DC. How do you say it? DSCR?
DSCR. Mm-hmm.
Does that stand for something?
Yeah. Debt service coverage ratio.
Okay. and I know that we are going to be running out of time here. So I want to make sure that people can get a hold of you if they're interested. The DSCR is for investors, yes?
Yep, just investors.
So from what I understand from yesterday, this is something that can help an investor purchase with little money down, or how does that work?
Yeah, so DSCR is going to be 20% down minimum, like your typical investment property would. However, the main key here is that there's no income needed. So self-employed borrowers who write off a bunch of money, or maybe they inherited a bunch of money and they don't work. They just kind of they just
Maybe
do
they're
their thing. They're
doing
not working.
really well in Bitcoin.
They could be doing really well on their investments and things, and
Right.
they don't work a 9 to 5 and have income to show. That is all. This program's perfect for those people. They want to invest in a property. You typically do 20% down or more, and you
Interest
qualify.
rates?
They're about the same as conventional, a hair bit higher.
Oh,
so not
okay.
not much different. And then they qualify based on the rental income the property brings in. It's just that simple.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. What's something that you want to share with the audience about Appli that you differentiate from another loan company, mortgage broker? Well, let's just talk about that real quick, because I know that there are people out there that don't understand the difference of a private lender, a bank. What would you say is the difference, and where do you fit in your area?
For sure. So the main two things people will run into is like a direct lender or a bank, and a broker like myself. Main differences are a lot of times folks at banks aren't licensed to do mortgages. They're bankers, like I explained early on in my career. They go through a quick corporate training, and that's not everybody. Some of them are going to be more experienced than others, but you're typically dealing with a banker. 1-800 number, you got to contact the reach. You got to schedule an appointment at the branch and go in person.
8 to 5.
8 to 4 on Friday, closed Saturday and Sunday, not available after hours when you're making an offer, when you're in desperate need, things like that. So availability is huge for me. Like, I work on my phone. You want to text me, if you want to call me, people, as you know, like, people will message me at 8 p.m. at night and go, hey, I need a pre-approval letter. We have to have an offer in by midnight. Well, great news for them. I have my system on my phone, literally, and I can shoot out a pre-approval letter in
While you're
2
bathing
minutes.
your kids.
While I'm laying in bed already. Yeah, I'm an old man, so I'm usually in bed pretty early.
Oh,
But
okay.
so
More
stuff like
information
that.
than I needed to know.
So a little TMI there. But yeah, so there's that, and then major difference as a broker of any kind of business. Like, we can shop around with many different lenders. So we got about 25 banks we work with, and we chose. And there's 100 banks out there, but we strategically signed up with these 25 because we know they just do things best, and we're looking at cost, for our consumers, rates for the consumers, but also like experience, right? Like, what's the speed, things like that. We're known to close substantially quicker. You can ask a big bank how much time you need. They'll say 45, 60 days. I mean, our average is like 15 days. Like, we operate way faster. We're cheaper. We have better rates. All kinds of things. And most importantly, we don't require you to move your car loan to us. You don't have to open a checking account with us. You don't have to do, we don't have those other stipulations.
And one of those is a pretty big company that you have built a really strong relationship with. Do you want to share?
Yeah. So we have a lot of great large partners. UWM, Windsor, Mortgage Boutique. Those are like some of our real big partners. We work a lot with EPM, Flagstar. We got quite a few banks that we do a lot of business with. Some of them work with consumers as well, but most are going to be just like with brokers only.
So you go out and you find the best loan, or you find the best loan that fits the buyer?
Both. We really tailor fit the loan to whatever their profile calls for. So I'm checking, every time I price a loan up for a borrower, I'm looking at 25 banks, and I'm looking at, does anybody have any grants they can give? Is there any incentive in any of these lenders? Sometimes we get incentives or better loan pricing, better rates based on our reputation and ranking. So, with certain lenders, they measure those things. How often we use their tools, how many loans we're sending them, how clean our files are. And so, like, we have the highest ranking at our main players we work with, and we strive to keep that ranking because it gets our consumers better rates. So things like that.
So, based on the DSCR and some of the other non-conformant loans, is there anything that Appli does that is special? Well, I know one thing that just like Brown Home Group, we are very special when it comes to our heroes.
Yep.
And Brown Home Group is part of the Homes for Heroes program. And so, with that, I know that Appli too will offer the hero a portion. You want to talk about that? How does that work? And with us, we give back 25% of our commissions to the hero who help towards their closing costs, or will write a check. And then another 5% goes to a charity organization that help heroes themselves. And then I know with Appli, you offer something as well. So if you are a vet, a teacher, healthcare, missing somebody. Oh, first responder, and you're looking to purchase or sell your home, definitely you want to reach out to us, and we'll get you in touch with Appli to get you set up for a loan. But you also are a big proponent in that as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we do something called Appli Vets. It's important to us. So,
Yeah.
my spouse is a veteran. I have family members that are veterans.
Oh, well, thank you for her service.
Yeah, my business partner's family is full of veterans. It was just something that's important to us. We shared a common commonality there. So we're just like, hey, we want to really give back to our veterans. We understand it's not an easy job. People are committing their lives and risking them to serve our country, protect us, and having to travel, live overseas, and do all kinds of stuff that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah, for me, it's really hits home. My son-in-law is now deployed. I won't tell you where. I'll have to kill you. But he's
you don't have to tell me.
He's an Apache helicopter pilot, and he's now stationed in Poland, and will be there for 9 months. So I know he's going to be missing his wife, my daughter, Lindsay. But and then I have a daughter-in-law who's a teacher. And teachers, they could do a lot better, right? I mean, they help mold our children based on that. They need help. And if looking to buy their first home, we definitely want to help them. And then my brother was a paramedic. So healthcare, nurses, if you're a nurse out there, you need some, help. We're here to help you. And that's ultimately what I think Brown Home Group and Appli wanted.
Yeah, 100%. We like to just give back. So Appli Vets is like for our veterans we do, and we pay for every VA appraisal. So like they don't have to pay it. We literally just pay it. It's not a rebate. It's just we eat the charge. It's $650 every single time. So every time we close a loan, we're paying it. There's also like no underwriting fees on their loans and things like that. And so that's like our way of giving back to veterans to help, or first responders and things like that.
So at FHA, 3.5% down, right? Conventional, minimum 5% down? 3% down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then is there anything outside of those standard loans? I mean, VA obviously is no down payment. Is there anything else that Appli has as a program? I think we've talked about maybe a grant or something that is out there that, is there anything you want to talk about that?
Yeah, there's a few different programs that we have that are kind of unique to us and some other brokers. Is we have like a $4,500 grant program that we can give to first-time home buyers. We have we work with the state of Florida with some of their programs, like Florida Bond, which is a great product where the state will lend $10,000 to the buyer. So we've been doing a lot more of those, I'd say, the last 6 months.
Is that forgivable?
It is not forgivable. It's a loan, just like Hometown Heroes is.
Gotcha.
It's one of those where if they ever refi or sell or move out, it's got to get paid back. But, the way the state treats it is, hey, we'll give you this money now so you can get into your home. You're building equity in a home. You now have an investment. You have a place to call yours. And whenever you sell it and you make your profit, they just want their money back to help the next person. They don't charge you interest. There's no payment on it. It's a really great product. It also controls rates. They release the rate once a day. And so it's that you don't have to worry about shopping or somebody overcharging or anything. So it's a really great product. And we've been doing a lot of those, especially in the market we're in. Like, connect with Rick or someone on his team, because if they negotiate you seller credit, for example, to cover your closing costs, and we use Florida bond to cover their down payment, they're essentially buying a home with almost nothing out of pocket. It's awesome. It's been a great program.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, hey, I know we're kind of running out of time, getting on 10:45. So I wanted to give you the last word so far as what could we see from Appli coming in the future. I know that you have an amazing studio as well as an office here. You want to tell where you're located? I mean, most of the people aren't going to come here in most cases, right? You just do everything online.
Pretty much, yeah.
So if somebody wanted to get in touch with Appli, I know we'll put your information in the comments below. But do you want to go ahead and tell them how they can reach?
Yeah, sure thing. So we're located in Orlando, is where our headquarters is, right over by Universal Sand Lake International Drive area. Anybody is welcome to stop by. We do have clients occasionally come in office. Yeah, it's free food. Cutting it. We're working on that part. Need to get a few more sales before we offer food to everybody every day. But no. So we have a facility here. We also have another office. We're actually opening on the first floor of our building, which is going to be a classroom where we'll be hosting more educational classes for first-time home buyers, for other realtors in the industry, for our partners, hosting events, things like that. So really excited about that. We take over the space actually next Monday, and then we have to begin obviously building it out, getting it ready. So the studio we're recording in, these videos may look different very soon because we'll be in an all-new studio probably in the next couple weeks. But yeah, we're over here, and if anybody needs anything, like Rick said, my contact will be down below. Been doing this quite a while. We have a great team here. We got about 25 people behind scenes that
I have one that's kind of my favorite.
Yeah, I know. I'm your favorite, and your son's your second.
Yeah.
So Rick's son is part of our team, Austin. So shout out to Austin.
Absolutely.
Great person, great personality, just all around great guy. And so if you need anything, we're all here to support.
Yeah, but you also cover not just Florida, right? You have other abilities to take care of others in other states.
Yeah,
so you've advanced into other areas. I mean, do you know them off the top of your head?
Yeah, I can probably label off top of my head. We got about 10 states we're in right now. So
10.
Yep, 10 states.
Okay, I was thinking we weren't going to be that long. But go ahead.
So Texas, Georgia, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, Colorado, Florida, and South Carolina.
Okay. Jason's chomping at the bit. I think you've missed one.
Ohio, maybe. Georgia. I said Georgia.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Nick, I just want to say thank you for being my first guest. But ultimately, I'm really thrilled for all the success that you guys have had and what you've built here at Appli, and obviously with your partner, Joe. And everybody, I mean, the whole team at Appli has been amazing. I also want to thank you for giving me the platform here in your studio. And I want to tell the realtors out there that if you are looking for a lender, but somebody up above and beyond a lender, but somebody who can be your partner, then I really recommend you reach out to Nick and his team. I do want to say that it makes our lives easier as realtors. When we're out there and showing the properties and making sure we get the right buyer, Nick and his team are going to take it and make sure that we can get them to the finish line. I'm not going to talk commission breath because I'm not in this business for commission. I know that's a cliche, but neither is Nick. We're going to do what we have to do to take you, the client, to the finish line and get you to the closing table. I am more passionate about handing keys to somebody and not worrying when the check is coming. And I know that, Nick, you agree that we get paid for our service. Sometimes things go awry. Bottom line is we're going to do what we have to do to get it done and get to the closing table. And if you're a realtor out there, maybe a new realtor, and you just don't know what lenders to talk to, I'm going to drop their information down. I want you to reach out and at least come meet or speak to Nick Vargas and his team. And I also want to thank Jason, who's behind the camera, because obviously he's made me look good. I do know that this is new to me, doing these podcasts. So the word probably came up quite a bit. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Obviously, my wife will tell you that I say that a lot. She will say, obviously what? It's not obvious. So I said that a lot. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm going to get better at this, guys. Nick, thanks so much.
Of course.
I appreciate you as always. I'm looking forward to, the next 5-10 years in this business together, hopefully. If I can remember.
If we can survive.
And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please watch for other new episodes coming. And if you are interested in something and you'd like me to have them as a guest, I will do everything in my power to figure out how to find somebody that you might want to hear, or if there's a subject you want to talk about, we would love to hear from you as well. So, hey, signing off, Beyond the Key, Rick Brown. Make it a great day.
We'll be right back.